Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really mind-bending idea. What if the visitors to our planet aren't coming from other stars, but from other dimensions that are right next door?
So let's just explore this for a minute. What if these doorways to other worlds, what if they aren't just science fiction, but a hidden piece of our reality? Forget about spaceships for a second and think about portals.
So our journey's going to start way up, 14,000 feet up in the mountains of Peru. There's this place that local people have called the Gate of the Gods for centuries, and it's exactly what it sounds like, a massive doorway carved right into solid rock that leads absolutely nowhere. Or does it?
Well, according to Inca legend, and this is a story that witnesses swore they saw with their own eyes, the very first priest king, a guy named Amaru Meru, walked up to this gate holding a special golden disc. They say it had fallen from the sky, and the story goes that when he placed this disc on the door, the solid rock just shimmered and opened up like it was water. He stepped right through and was never seen again.
Okay, now here's where things get really wild. This is where the legend bumps right into reality. Archaeologists were examining the gate, and what did they find? A small circular depression right in the middle of the doorway, a perfect fit for the golden disc from the story. Is that just a coincidence, or is it actual physical proof of a portal?
So look, a rock face turning into a doorway. That sounds completely impossible, right? But the theory behind this whole phenomenon actually pulls a concept straight from the very edge of theoretical physics to try and explain it. The idea here is that this gate, and maybe some other mysterious places on Earth, could be one end of what's called a wormhole. A stable portal that connects dimensions. It's basically a theoretical shortcut through space-time, one that could allow for instant travel not just across our universe, but maybe between totally different realities.
But what if these portals aren't always just single doorways? What if they can be huge, massive zones? And that brings us to one of the most infamous places on the entire planet, the Bermuda Triangle. We're talking about a 500,000 square mile patch of ocean where ships and planes have a habit of just vanishing.
And the most famous case, of course, is Flight 19. It was a perfectly clear day. 5 Navy bombers take off, and then they get completely lost. Their compasses just go haywire, and then they vanish. But it gets worse. The rescue plane they sent to find them, it also vanished. That's 6 aircraft and 27 men, just gone, without a single trace.
So, okay, we've got places that might act as portals. But what if the traffic isn't only one way? The theory also suggests that beings from these other dimensions, they don't always wait for us to stumble upon their doorways. Sometimes, they step through to ours.
Now, let's look at 2 incredible accounts of this. One is ancient, one is totally modern, of direct human contact. And these stories, even though they're separated by centuries, they share this common, absolutely stunning theme: encounters with powerful, non-human entities. Let's start with the story of the Prophet Muhammad. Islamic tradition says that his revelations came from the angel Gabriel, a powerful, non-human being who communicated with him for 23 years and, according to legend, even took him on a flight around the entire Earth. Now, this theory doesn't dispute that the event happened. It just reframes the question. Was Gabriel an angel, or was that just the best language people had at the time to describe an interdimensional visitor?
Okay, now let's fast forward 1,300 years. You've got 3 Soviet cosmonauts. These are trained scientists and pilots, and they radio this frantic message down from their Salyut 7 space station. They said they were seeing 7 giant, glowing, winged figures just hovering right outside their window. They said these angels were visible for a full 10 minutes, and then they were just gone.
We've looked at portals in solid rock. We've looked at them in the ocean. But the theory's most radical idea is this. What if the most powerful portal isn't out there anywhere? What if it's inside of us? Deep in the Kalahari Desert, you'll find the Sand People. Genetically, they are one of the oldest human populations on the entire planet. And they have this tradition that really suggests human consciousness itself can bridge dimensions. Through a ritual called a trance dance, their shamans say they can activate this powerful internal energy that they call N/Yum. And they believe that activating this inner energy gives them these extraordinary abilities. We're talking about traveling to the spirit world, seeing things happening at vast distances, even handling fire without being burned. They describe it as a boiling energy that causes a fundamental vibrational change deep inside them. It's almost as if they are literally tuning themselves to a different frequency, to a different reality.
And when one of the elders was asked to describe this journey, his answer was so simple. He said, "This is the bridge to home." Think about that. Not just a spirit world, but home. That implies a belief in an otherworldly origin, and that the key to returning isn't some gateway of stone, but something that's encoded in our very DNA.
So let's just try and tie all this together. You have a stone gate in Peru. You have vanishing planes in the Atlantic, angelic beings showing up in space, and shamanic trances in Africa. What if? What if these aren't all separate mysteries? What if they're just different expressions of the exact same phenomenon?
And that brings us to the theory's absolutely stunning conclusion. Extraterrestrials, they aren't from other planets, they're from other dimensions that are layered right on top of our own reality. They don't need spaceships to cross the unimaginable distances between stars, they just need to step through a door.
I mean, this completely reframes the entire search for alien life, doesn't it? It leaves us with this one final, kind of chilling thought. We have spent decades looking up at the stars, listening for some faint signal from deep space. What if we should have been looking for the doorways all around us, and for the one that might just be locked inside of ourselves?